Program is basically to remember, honor, and teach about our veterans. We remember them by paying honor to them, and we honor them by putting the flags, the wreaths on their graves.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jack and Terry Show. Our special guest today is Donna Betson. She is a community leader and she's the location coordinator for Wreaths across America here locally. We've invited her on today to talk more about that topic. Donna, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And of course, I'm with my co host, Jack Connicky. He's the granddaddy of all small businesses in Radcliffe. Jack, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Terry. Good to see you, Don.
Hi, Jack. How are you doing today?
Jack, we have Donna on today, and we had her on a couple of years ago. This is probably one of the most emotional times of the year when it comes to things that happen out at the Veterans Cemetery, where Donna's team gets out there and lays these wreaths on all the grave sites that are there. And I know you've had some experience with this with your own family members. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, my daughter Jill and her my two granddaughters, Catherine and Caroline, have gotten involved in this about 8 years ago because they are
Mm,
involved with the DAR, and they've
mm,
been laying wreaths every year since then. So they'll
mm.
be out in Houston doing this.
Yeah. Well, it's a national program, and it's good to see people of all ages. Of course, the older people have a harder time getting out there. It's good to see young folks like your granddaughters out there. And I don't know, we'll have to ask Donna about this. What are the age groups she usually sees out there? I imagine it's not people 70 or 80 years old like we are. It's the younger folks out there. Well, Donna, I want to just run a couple of things out to you. Glad you came on. This is a big event, and I know that it's time to let people know what you're doing and how they can get involved. A lot of people want to get involved, but let me just ask you to do this. If right at the beginning here, if you would just summarize this Reefs Across America program in general.
The program is basically to remember, honor, and teach about our veterans. We remember them by paying honor to them, and we honor them by putting the flags, the wreaths on their graves. And we teach the next generation, and that's why it's always so great to see the young ones out there, the church groups, the scout groups, and sometimes grandkids and stuff like that. And we're teaching them about what it takes to keep this country free.
Exactly. That's a very powerful statement right there. Tell us a little bit about the fundraising effort and potentially what people could do if they would like to get involved and help you do this.
Well, the wreaths cost $15 each, and for every two we buy, we get one free. So that kind of brings it down to $10 each. But you can imagine with 8,000 plus, that's a lot
Mhm.
of money to raise. And without the help of all the veterans groups, we would never make it. This is my 14th year working as the coordinator for this. We haven't missed a year that we didn't cover our number by the end of the time. It's been by hair sometimes, but it
Mhm.
always they always come through for me. But right now we are running a little short. You can imagine businesses closed during COVID that didn't come back. We've had people move. Um, so there's been several things that can be part of that problem. But I think that if we can get the word out there, that people will come through for me again at the end.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Where would a person make a contribution? What's the process to make a contribution to help you pull this off?
Well, they can call me and I can give them my address and everything. The checks are always made out to Wreaths Across America. One thing I do want the public to know is that we don't take a dime. Every penny goes to buying the wreaths. There's no one being paid to to work this program. It's all volunteer. Even the drivers that bring the wreaths to us are usually retired veterans and they volunteer their trucks. Walmart volunteers their trucks for to be used. U-Haul, you name it. And so everything there is volunteer. So that is a big difference. That's why all the checks are always made to Wreaths across America. And if
Okay.
they want to call me, 270 and I know you're going to put that on the program too,
Sure.
that I can give them my address. They can send a check to me, and I mail it in every other day, just about with the rest of the checks that come in.
Got it. Well, to give folks some idea how much money is actually needed and just to pull off the project for this year, what kind of dollar figure are you thinking about that we actually need to raise right now?
Well, we're about 1,000 wreaths that have not been covered yet. So I have
Okay.
about 7,000 covered, but I need 8,836. So
Okay.
I think with the extra little push there that we can make that deadline. We have our ceremony at 10 because in the past it always worked out better for us with our coordination with Fort Knox. Now Fort Knox has their own in the past couple of years, and theirs is at noon, so there's no conflict on times between the two of us. But you need to get there early if you're going to try to park up at the cemetery because we've been stretching it all the way down 31W in the past few years. Um, it would be great if someone would volunteer a bus, a school bus, or a church bus or something, and we could park somewhere and bring people up by bus loads. Because it gets hard for some of the older folks that try to come in and they can't get up that hill, and that's a pretty big hill to try to walk up if you're a senior
Sure is.
citizen. So that would be a possibility that we'd like to work on. I think with the cemetery workers are great trying to help us with every way they can, but I think it's a liability thing for them to use their golf cart that they have.
Right.
But if there's any way else we can try to coordinate that with some
Mhm.
groups, it'd be great.
Yeah, and I think by calling that out right now, that might help to get somebody to do that. And I think a staging area. I can't speak for Jack, but he owns quite a lot of parking space down here on the north
Sure.
end. And I think you're okay, Jack, with
Oh, yeah.
that being a staging area. If
Sure.
we can get this worked out, maybe somebody does call about that. We can transport from where the Radcliffe Plaza is back and
Uh-huh.
forth to the cemetery.
If I didn't have everyone's help, we'd never make this every year.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Well, Donna, before we give you the final word, any final instructions you might have for the folks, I want to thank you on behalf of everybody for all the hard work you do. I know this starts early in the year, and in December, with the December 17th, is that
December the
that de-
17th, 10 o'clock.
December 17th at 10 o'clock? This is when it all takes place. This is when they pull the trigger. But I know all during the year you're working on this. I know you're talking to people about it constantly, and you're well known in the area for the person who gets this done. And I just want to thank you for all your hard work.
Well, I don't get it done without a lot of people helping.
Yeah,
It's not a one person thing. It's the
right.
community, and
Yeah.
thankfully we have the type of community we do.
Yeah,
With so many retired military and all the
right.
connections to those families,
Sure.
it it's a community affair that gets done. And
Yeah.
I wish I could write a thank you note to everyone who donates,
Hmm.
whether it's $15 or $1,000, because it all adds up. And every
Yeah.
one of them is important to me because I know when they're giving what they can.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Like all these community endeavors that we have here, got to be a leader. Somebody's got to lead it year after year. Like you said, 14 years. All you got to do is stop for a couple years and the whole thing falls apart. Got to have a strong leader. And we live in a community where there are a lot of strong leaders. It's amazing
That we
how
do.
much effort people put into these things. Well, Don, I want to thank you for coming on. As I said before, I appreciate all you're doing. Folks, that's Donna Betson. She's a community leader. She's involved in a lot of things here, member of the Vine Grove City Council, strong leader in a lot of different things here. But this year and for the last 14 years, she's been the location coordinator for Wreaths Across America locally. We'll put her phone number on here. If you can contribute funds, just call her up, make an arrangement to get those funds to her. If you have a bus that you might be able to loan to the project for one day, contact her about that, and we'll see if we can get that all coordinated out. But that's how you get involved, folks, if you're interested in helping, and I know a lot of people are. So thanks again, Donna.
Well, thank you for having me.
Jack, did you have any final comments before we wrap it up?
No, but it is a community asset having that cemetery there, and
Mhm.
it's really an honor that we have the opportunity to lay these wreaths. And I think as a community, we need to make sure that it gets done right.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it does seem to get done right every year because of their leadership and the overwhelming response of people willing to come out there and work on the project, not only for their own loved ones who are laid to rest there, but just for veterans in general. So it's an amazing project. Jack, it was good seeing you again, and we'll see you in church on Sunday.
See you later. Thanks a lot, Donna.
Thank you all for having me on.